I'm going to tell you a little bit about a new board that I've just designed. I'm calling it the Dusi. Now, the Dusi is a kayak race in South Africa, which is about 120 kilometers over 3 days of sheer pain. It's about 1/3 whitewater, class 2, 3 whitewater, 1/3 flat water, with some terrible headwinds and oppressive heat, and about 1/3 running, literally over the top of these mountains. I think probably something 500-600 meters up this mountain and down the other side, total in altitude. It's very hard. It's a very, very tough race. It's sort of on the bucket list of everybody who lives down there. And I'm going to go down there and do this race on a stand-up paddleboard, and I've developed a board specifically for it. So I'm going to show you through this board a little bit over here and walk you around the board and show you some of the features. So first of all, with this board, as you can see, it's very long. It's 1610, which is 5 meters 10, which is the regulation length for the canoes and kayaks who are doing the race. And you see, if you look at the nose profile in this thing, that it goes down very deep. The nose swoops down so that when it's on the water and there's side winds, there's almost nothing for the winds to touch up in the nose of the boat. But then there's all kinds of reserve volume in the center, so that when it does submerge in the white water, when I do go through the rapids and I get waves over the bow, I have this reserve volume in the center of the board here that'll pull it up and get it out of the way. The nose is also a swept nose, so if I do hit any rocks, it makes it so it'll just wrap up over the rocks rather than, you know, being something that's just going to hit and break. This thing is made out of Inegra, which is by Aerolite X. Inegra is kind of like a Kevlar, except that it doesn't absorb water, and that's pretty important. If you do get a hole in your board, if you do manage to bust a hole through the material, Kevlar tends to suck water and it frays as well when you try to fix it. So this Inegra doesn't do that, which is what we've made it out of here. Here you can see I have a hatch. This hatch here is so that I can carry UV repair kit with me. So that's an epoxy that's UV activated that I can fix the board with. I'll also have in there a carry strap for the portages over the mountains, and some little goodies, energy bars and things like that. So that's what I have over there. You can see here I have lots of handles on the board. The idea here is that when you, first of all, when you're portaging, you're going to want to grab the board very quickly with this handle here in the center. But then I've got these oh shit handles on the side. And these here, basically, on the side of the board, is if I get into a rapid that's just over my head. There's some rapids there which are solid class 3 plus. And this is a 17-foot long, 27-inch wide board. It's not very stable. And what this will allow me to do here, this will allow me to just lie down very quickly into the central standing area that you see here. Grab the handles on each side and stabilize myself so that I don't get you know, knocked off the board when I'm going through the harder rapids. So that's going to be pretty important. This whole recess area here where you stand, it's about 1/4 inch above the water line, so it's very, very low. And then I have these perk holes, or these perch holes over here, that allow the water to drain out of the board when it do get water in here. You can see the central line running through the board that goes up to this cleat in the center over here. Now this line, the idea of it is that it goes to this fin in the back. Now this fin is unlike a skeg, or I should say it's unlike a regular fin, it is a skeg, and the idea is that it sits down in the water like this, and when it hits rocks, it literally just moves up out of the way, like that, so that I can go through rapids and hit the rocks and it just flips up and flips down. Also actually works with kelp and all kinds of other stuff. But this line in the center of the board here that you see allows me to pull on that and to lift that skeg completely out of the water, as you can see. So when I get into white water, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that skeg out of the water completely, which will allow me to flow down rapids at an angle if I need to, go down at about 45 degrees. But it also means that I can turn the board very fast. With this fin in the water, this board goes very straight, it's very quick, but it is kind of hard to turn. So I have that cleat in front of me. When I'm standing, I just bend over, I grab the cleat, I pull up on it, fin comes out of the water like this. I can then maneuver the boat or the board very, very well. I can turn easily. I mean, I can turn this thing almost on a dime in the white water and then release it again and off I go. As you can see, I have lots of volume in the back of the board as well, so when I am going through some rapids and the tail gets submerged, it won't stand up vertically on the nose of the board. It'll tend to just squat down and then push forward and out. Kind of the same technology they use in whitewater creek boats. And you can see up here, this is the clip up in the nose here. So I just pull this out, pull the fin up, jam it back in, and then when I'm done, I just release it, and it'll just jam back again when the fin pulls into place. So overall, this is the Dusi, the new Dusi race board, almost 17 feet long, from Corin paddleboards. And with this board here, I'm hoping to be able to go to the Dusi race in South Africa. And it is hot. I mean, it's going to be over 90 degrees. They have a humidity of close to 100. It's going to be painful. It's going to be agonizing. But at least I'm going to have a couple of friends down there on paddleboards as well. And it's going to be interesting to see who gives up first. Hopefully not me. I'm training hard. As you can see, I'm all winded and sweaty now. I've just done 5 miles into a headwind. That was pleasant. So, without further ado, I'm going to get this thing going again and do another workout. See ya.